Hi, my name is Surya Narayana. I'm from the Computer Science Department, working in the Skill Development Center. I'm a full stack Java trainer. I teach complete Java, complete web technologies, including HTML to Angular, React, Mongo, Express, Node, and complete Java, right from core Java to advanced Java, Hibernate, Spring Boot with microservices, complete Java full stack. And in the backend, I'll teach both SQL database, Oracle, and NoSQL database, MongoDB. Today, I'm going to give an introduction to data types in Java. Data types in Java, their size allocation, their default values, and how to convert from one Java data type to another Java data type using two types. One is using typecasting and other one is using wrapper classes. Okay, let's start our overall topics. Types of data types in Java. Data types in Java, their sizes, ranges, default values, typecastics, and wrapper classes. So at the end of the course, student is going to learn how many data types are there in Java, their sizes, ranges, and default values, how to do typecasting, and how to use wrapper classes. That student will learn. And coming to the types of data types in Java. In Java, majorly we categorize two types of data types. One is primitive data types, another one is secondary data types. Coming to the primitive data types are again of three types: integer data types, floating point data types, and miscellaneous data types. Coming to the integer data types, we are having four data types. One is byte, another one is short, third one is int, and last one is long. Byte, short, int, long are the four integer data types. And coming to the floating point data types, float and double are the two data types in floating point data types. And coming to the miscellaneous data types are char and boolean. They are not integer data types and floating point data types. They are character and boolean data types. So in which we store characters. In boolean data type, we'll store true or false. And on the other side, there are secondary data types. Other than primitive data types are called as secondary data types. In secondary data types, there are two types. One is array and other one is class. Array means if you create multiple variables of homogeneous data type, same data type, like integer. Suppose if you want to declare 10 integer variables or 20 integer variables or 30 float variables, we create an array. So array and classes are secondary data types. And a collection of primitive data types is array. And a collection of primitive data types is class, of course. So that we will discuss in the later sessions. And next, coming to the primitive data type default values. Coming to the byte. The default value is 0. So you can write 0 or 0b, anything you can write. To the byte data type, if you initialize 0b, then the Java runtime environment will recognize that, okay, 0 is not an int value, it is a byte value. To the byte b is equal to, if you don't put 0b, 0 will be by default treated as integer. And that means in Java, all primitive data types, all integer data types are by default treated as int. So if you write 0, 0 will be treated as int. Int takes 4 bytes. That cannot be accommodated into 1 byte b. So it will give a compilation error. So int cannot be assigned to byte itself. So hence we need to put 0b so that 0 will be assumed as a byte value. Similarly, to assign short value also we need to write short s is equal to 0s. So then Java runtime environment will understand that, okay, the 0 is a short value. So that will be assigned to short. To the int, we can directly assign 0, int a is equal to 0. To the long, explicitly we need to specify long L is equal to 0L. Small letter L or capital letter L we can put. That L indicates it's a long value. So for byte 0b, for short 0s, for int simple 0, for long 0L. For floating point values also, you need to put a 0.0f, capital letter F or small letter f. Why we need to put f? Because in Java, to the floating point values like 0.0. By default, 0.0 will be assumed as a double value, okay, which will take 8 bytes of memory. That cannot be accommodated into float. So in order to tell that 0.0 is not a double value, it's not a 8 byte value, it's a 4 byte value, to say we need to write 0.0f. Then Java runtime environment will understand that it's okay, 0.0 is a floating point value. So that will be assigned to float. To the double D is equal to 0.0, it's normal. It's a double value. For character, you need to assign null character. And for the boolean, we need to assign boolean default value. False is the default value. You can assign true or false, anyone. So that is about the default values. And one more important point is to these data types, the memory occupation is to the byte in Java, 1 byte of memory will be allocated. To the short, 2 bytes of memory will be allocated. To the int, 4 bytes of memory will be allocated. To the long, 8 bytes of memory will be allocated. To the float, 4 bytes of memory will be allocated. To the double, 8 bytes of memory will be allocated. To the char, 2 bytes of memory will be allocated. In this two, both ASCII values and as well as Unicode values can be stored. That is why to the char, 2 bytes of memory is allocated in Java. Whereas in C and C++, to the char, only 1 byte will be allocated because C and C++ accepts only ASCII range values. They don't accept Unicode values. But Java accepts Unicode values, so hence 2 bytes of memory will be allocated to char data types. For Boolean anyway, 1 byte memory is allocated. So this is the memory allocation for byte, short, int, long, float, double, char and Boolean. Why I am addressing the memory requirement for these primitive data types is in the next session we are going to discuss type conversion from one data type to another data type. In the type conversion from one data type to another data type, because of if you keep the memory their occupation in mind, we can assume that whether the value can be assigned to the target data type or not. So anyway, that we'll discuss in the next session. So in this topic, we are discussing typecastings. Why we need typecasting? See, for example, in the regular Java programming language, sometimes we want to assign int value to long value to sometimes int. Sometimes we need to assign int value to double. Sometimes we need to assign double value to int. These type of conversions are very often in the programming language. For example, suppose if you divide two values, 10 divided by 2. So 10 is an integer value, 2 is an integer value. Both if you divide, division always returns a floating point value 5.0. It won't return 5 instead of. And the division always gives a floating point value as a divisor but not an integer value 5.0. So hence this 5.0 must be converted into 5. How to convert 5.0 into 5? You need double int conversion. So similarly, sometimes you need to accept long value and convert into int, or long value into int, or int value to long value, double value to int value to double value. These type conversions are very, very common in the Java programming language. Like tax calculations or price calculation or salary calculations or incentive calculations. During these calculations, mark percentage calculations, grade calculations. During these calculations, these type conversions are very important. Hence, in this session, we are going to learn now how to convert from one primitive data type to another primitive data type using typecastings. Okay. So here in this example, if you understand, I took the class name as class int conversion demo. Class int conversion demo. I named class so meaningfully in such a way that this program is going to convert int value to other data types. That we'll see in this example. Okay. So here I took here I've written class int conversion demo, public static void main string args. This is the main method in Java programming. In every Java program we'll write. So int I is equal to 20. So I declared one int variable, int I is equal to 20, or int I is equal to 120, whatever it is. So some integer variable I declared and initialized value as 120. I want to convert this integer value into byte value, short value, long value, float value and double value. Now you tell me int is a 4 byte data type value. So to which we assign 120. That we want to assign to byte. Byte is a 1 byte memory occupation data. Short takes 2 bytes, long takes 8 bytes, float takes 4 bytes, double takes 8 bytes. This 4 byte data type value into value we want to assign to byte. Is it possible to assign into to byte? Int takes 4 bytes, byte takes 1 byte. How can we assign 4 byte data type value into 1 byte data type value? So we cannot do. So if you try to directly assign into value to directly byte, like I, immediately we'll get a compilation error. Compilation error saying that integer value cannot be assigned to byte because of it is a 4 byte value, it is a 1 byte value. Immediately we'll get a compilation error. So, but if you want to assign, forcibly if you want to assign int value to byte value, what you need to do is to the Java compiler and interpreter, we should tell that, okay, we want to assign integer value to byte value, however it is. So whether the value is lost or the value remains same, we want to assign integer value to byte value. So then how do you instruct compiler and interpreter saying that to assign integer value to byte value? You put the target data type in parenthesis and write a target data byte. So to the int before, if you put byte in bracket, then compiler and interpreter understand, okay, that user wants to assign integer value to byte value. So integer value will be assigned to byte value. But during this typecasting, if the value of the integer value is lost while assigned to byte, no Java compiler or interpreter is responsible. That responsibility the developer has to take care. Similarly, integer value is a 4 byte value, short is a 2 byte data type. So how can we assign integer to short? 4 byte value to 2 byte value. Hence, we need typecasting here also. Before integer, we need to put short in the bracket. So compiler and interpreter understand that, okay, integer value want to be assigned to short. So for these two, whenever we are assigning higher data type value to lower data type value, typecasting is compulsory. But to assign lower value to higher value, like int to the int long is higher value, to int float is higher value, to int double is higher value. To assign lower value to higher value, we don't need any typecasting. But to convert higher value to lower value, we need typecasting. That is why on the top I mentioned narrow casting needs typecasting, wide casting don't need typecasting. Narrow casting means if I assign 4 byte value to 1 byte data type or 2 byte data type like byte or short, you need typecasting. Narrow casting needs typecasting. Wide casting don't need typecasting. Wide casting means 4 byte integer value we are assigning to long 8 byte data type. So it's a wide casting. So narrow value we are assigning to bigger value. So you don't need typecasting. Similarly, int can be assigned to float. Int is a 4 byte value. Float is also floating point value. But float is a floating point value. It will take decimal values also. So integer can be directly assigned to float. Integer can be directly assigned to double. Double is a 8 byte value. And plus it will take floating point value also. So int can be directly assigned to double, float and long without doing any typecasting. Only typecasting is required while assigning integer to byte and short. This is regarding typecasting topic. So in this typecasting topic, one important point we need to remember while doing typecasting, if the value of the integer is lost while assigning to byte and short, Java compiler interpreter is not responsible. For that, what a developer must know is, developer must also know the range of the byte and short. So for the byte and short, I'll tell you what is the range of values. So if you want to assign any value to byte variable, the range of the byte variable is minus 128 to plus 127. Minus 128 to plus 127. So this is the range which we can assign to byte variable. So if we assign any value other than 127 or below 128, the value will be lost. Similarly, to the short also, the range of the value is minus 32,768 to 32,767. Altogether, 64,000 something change value will come. Minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. This is the range we can assign to short. For example, to the int I, if I assign 35,000 and trying to assign to short, the actual value will be lost the compiler and the interpreter will reduce the value and assign the value to the short, even similar to the byte also. So the Java developer who is trying to assign integer value to lower data type value, he must consider the byte and short data type ranges and the value assigned to the integer while assigning into byte and short. So that developer has to take care of. So this is regarding typecasting. So hope narrow casting and wide castings are clear. The next topic is so to convert from one primitive data type to another primitive data type, we can use typecasting. That is fine. And sometimes, and one very more important topic is in Java is conversion from string to int and into to string. String to int and into string. Because in Java, we most of the time take command line arguments as input into Java programming language. For example, whenever you take your age or your mobile number, your admission number, bank account number or something from the standard input, from the command line argument in the Java programming language, we always take command line arguments as strings. So in order to convert string to int or string to long or string to float or string to double, to convert from string to any primitive data type, we cannot use typecasting. We need to use wrapper classes. So wrapper classes are used for two things: to convert string to primitive type conversion. String to any primitive type we can convert, like byte, short, int, long, float, double. To convert string to any of these primitive conversions, we can use wrapper classes, and similarly from primitive to primitive also we can convert using wrapper classes. And wrapper classes are used for both primitive to primitive conversion and as well as string to primitive conversion. Typecasting is used only for primitive to primitive conversion. Wrapper classes are used for both string to primitive conversion and primitive to primitive conversion. So we will see how wrapper classes will do these two. So in Java programming language, for every primitive data type, one wrapper class is given. See here, one wrapper class is given. For byte primitive data type, byte wrapper class is given. Byte data type is a small letter b. It's a keyword and as well as primitive data type also. This byte b calculator is a wrapper class. This is a predefined class in Java. So for every primitive data type, one wrapper class is given in Java. For byte wrapper class is given. For small letter short primitive data type, short primitive data wrapper class is given. Short as calculator. For int primitive data type, integer wrapper class is given. I is calculator. For long primitive data type, long wrapper class is given. L is long. L is calculator. For float primitive data type, float wrapper class is given. Calculator. For primitive data type double wrapper class is given. D is calculator. For char primitive data type, character wrapper class is given. Not char, character wrapper class is given. C is calculator. For boolean primitive data type, boolean wrapper class is given. B is calculator. So for all 8 primitive data types, 8 wrapper classes are given in Java. So for 8 primitive data types, 8 wrapper classes are given in Java. This is an introduction about wrapper classes. So how many wrapper classes are given? For 8 primitive data types, 8 wrapper classes are given. So we'll see first wrapper class, some byte, or we can take any one of the wrapper class, but I prefer and I most frequently use the wrapper classes integer, because byte and short we don't use in the programming language much. So I give importance to the integer. So let us see how the integer class is given in the predefined wrapper class. Integer class is given in Java API. So the integer class is given as, and this is not a user defined data type, it's a predefined class in Java. The class is given as public class integer. Integer is a predefined Java class. This class extends from some number, implements from serializable and comparable. I don't want to discuss about the integer class superclasses at this moment. That we'll discuss later. So public class integer. This is wrapper class. In this wrapper class, if you carefully observe, 2 constructors are given. And couple of non-static methods. and one static method, couple of non-static methods, and two constructors are given. Two constructors and almost 6 non-static methods and one static method are given. Let's see. In the integer class, two constructors are given. One constructor takes int as a parameter, one constructor takes string as a parameter. So what does it mean? The integer class can be used to convert from one primitive to another primitive, right? One primitive to another primitive. And second one is string to primitive conversion. String to primitive conversion. So how integer class is used to convert from one primitive to another primitive? That means, suppose if you declare one integer variable, int I is equal to 10. We want to convert this integer value to long, float, double, etc. etc. So what to do? Store this int variable into integer class constructor. Like how to do? Integer in is equal to new integer of I. So here primitive variable I is wrapped into integer class constructor. Now integer wrapper class wraps primitive int I. Now using integer object dot. In integer class 6 non-static methods are given. 6 non-static methods are instance methods are given. They are byte value, short value, int value, long value, float value, double value. Byte value function returns byte. Short value returns short. Int value function returns int. Long value function returns long. Float value function returns float. Double value function returns double. So what does it mean? Using integer object dot. If I call long value, simply the value is converted into long. From to long. Same integer object dot. If you call short value, the integer object is converted into short value. Similarly, integer object can be converted into double value. How? Integer object dot double value function if you call. So it will be converted into double. Just store primitive int into integer class constructor. This is what called as wrapping. Wrapping primitive int into integer so that integer object is created using integer object dot long value, short value, long double value, float value. You can call these methods so that one primitive to another primitive conversion can happen. So this is one purpose of wrapper class. The next purpose of wrapper class. So I hope this is clear. Primitive to primitive conversion is clear. Further, this constructor is given. So which constructor? Integer class constructor which is taking int as a parameter. So store int into integer. Call these methods so that one integer primitive conversion to another primitive conversions will happen. Coming to the second constructor, integer class constructor taking string as a parameter. Why that constructor is given? Why integer class is having a string parameter constructor? Why that constructor is given? The main motto of the main aim of wrapper class is to convert string to primitive conversion. Primitive to primitive conversion we can do with typecasting also. Mainly for string to primitive conversion only we are using wrapper classes. So how to do that? String to int conversion. How to do with integer wrapper class? That we'll discuss now. So for that in integer class, one constructor is given name called string parameter constructor. So in integer class, string parameter constructor is given so that you can store string into integer class constructor and call int value function. String will be converted into int. For example, from the user, you are taking your age as 20 years, you are taking as a string. Because in every programming language, input will be always accepted as a string. Irrespective of whether it is a C or C++ or Java or C# or Python or PHP, in every programming language, user input will be always taken as a string. That's for sure. So we want to convert such an integer value coming as a string. It is inputting as a string. This value we want to convert into actual int. I is means integer is. So we want to convert this string value into integer value. How to convert? So first of all, we need to store integer value is there in the string. So first of all, we need to store this string variable into integer class constructor. So that what happens, string is wrapped into integer. String is wrapped into integer. So string is wrapped into integer. Make sure that such a string which is wrapping into integer must contain only integer values but not any alphabets like ABC. If you are having any ABC kind of value, that if you are wrapping into integer, you will get number format exception. Number format exception. And if integer class constructor accepts a string as a parameter, it doesn't mean that you can store any string value into integer class constructor. Make sure if that string class is having only integer value wrapped up as a string, such a string variable can be wrapped into integer class constructor, so that one integer object will be created. Integer in is equal to new integer of yes. So here what is happening? String is wrapped into integer object. Integer object dot, integer object dot, if you call dot int value, so the value is converted into int is. So here string is wrapped into integer class constructor, integer object is created. We are calling integer object dot int value. So for that, we employed this constructor to wrap string into integer, and to convert such an integer object into int, we use this instance method, int value method. So string to primitive conversion is completed. So here we understood from this discussion, we understood wrapper classes are used for two things. One is to convert from one primitive to another primitive. That means from int, if you want to convert into other types, store int into integer class constructor and call any of these methods, the value will be converted into byte, short, int, long, float, and double. That is one. And second purpose of wrapper class is to convert string value to primitive int conversion. So for that, what we need to do? We need to declare one string variable which is having an int wrapped up as a string. Store that value into integer class constructor and call integer object dot int value. So the value will be converted into int. The same procedure can be applied for even long conversion, string to long conversion, string to float conversion, and string to double conversion also. So this is the purpose of wrapper class. So hope this is clear. These two conversions are completed. But in order to convert string to int, almost we employ two steps. One is storing string into integer and then calling integer object dot int value. This is a little bit looking like a roundabout procedure. It is almost involving two steps. So generally to the programmer, to the day-to-day programmer, regular programmers, it is a tedious task storing string into integer class constructor, creating integer object and call integer object dot int value. So it will take a tedious and longer procedure. So the shortest procedure is to make this conversion easier. In string class, there is one more convenient method given called parseInt. Look at this parseInt method. ParseInt method is taking string as a parameter and is returning a int, and that too it is of a type static. So we'll discuss about static and non-static methods later on, the Java programming structure. Here one thing you must understand, that if any method is declared as a static or if any method is given as a static, it can be directly called with a class name dot method name. That means in order to call this parseInt method, you don't need to create an integer class object. You can directly call integer class dot the static method parseInt method you can directly call, and into this you can pass string as an argument is integer class dot because parseInt is a static method, you can call dot parseInt method, parse p small letter and I capital letter parseInt method, and into this method if you directly pass string values argument, directly string values convert into int value, int is. So among these two, is this conversion of string to int conversion is simple, or this one conversion is simple, second conversion is simple? That is why The developers across worldwide to convert string to int, they always use integer.parsing method instead of employing two steps. So the same thing is applicable for even string to long conversion, float conversion, and double conversion also. So we'll see how to do that. For example, if some long, for example, there is a variable called mobile. Suppose we are taking mobile number as a long value 98480123445. It's a long value wrapped up into string. We want to convert this string into actual long value, long L mobile. So how to do? Using long, which wrapper class we need to use to convert from string to long value? We need to use long wrapper class. So use long wrapper class as same as integer.parseInt, as same as integer.parseInt, long dot. We need to use long dot. We need to use long dot. It is long dot. Parse long of mobile. Now what happens? Simply the mobile stored as a string in string variable is now converted into long value. Similarly, if you want to convert some float, for example, there is a value called product price. We'll take price of the product. Price of the product is 120 rupees 58 paisa, for example. Let us assume. So the floating point value is a stored in string. Now we want to convert this into float. F price. So how to do this conversion? Use float wrapper class dot. In float wrapper class, there is one static method given called parse float. In that, if you pass price as argument, the string price is converted into primitive float, F price. Similarly, if you are having string, your salary or salary, for example, salary is equal to suppose we are having 50,000. Let us assume salary is stored as string. Salary is in a form of string. We want to convert it into double. So how to convert into double? Double D salary is equal to double D salary is equal to. So to convert string to primitive double, which wrapper class you need to use? Double wrapper class. Double dot parse p small letter parse double of. In this, if you pass string sal as argument, the string sal is converted into primitive double value. So integer.parseInt is for string to primitive conversion into conversion. Long dot parse long is to convert string to long conversion. Float dot parse float is used for converting string to float conversion. Double dot parse double is used to convert string to double conversion. This is about integer wrapper class. It's not only about integer wrapper class, it is about long wrapper class, float wrapper class, and double wrapper class also. So here is the example. See, here I took this is previous one is this is how the class looks like in Java API, and here are the two examples. One example is to show you how to convert from one primitive to another primitive using wrapper class, integer wrapper class, and this example is to convert from string to int conversion. So let's stay here. So this is primitive to primitive conversion using integer wrapper class. Class integer demo. It's our own user-defined class. Public static void main. Here I took int I is equal to 10. We want to convert this integer value, primitive int value into byte, short, long, float, and double. How to do? What to do first? First, we need to store the primitive int into integer wrapper class constructor. Int wrapped into integer. In the integer class, 6 instance methods are there: byte value, short value, int value, long value, float value, double value. So we called integer dot byte value, value is converted into byte. Integer dot short value, value is converted into short. Integer dot long value, value is converted into long. Integer dot float value, value is converted into float. Integer dot double value, value is converted into double. Finish. So the primitive value int is converted into other primitive data types using wrapper class, its constructor, and using its instance methods. So this is to convert from one primitive to another primitive using integer wrapper class. Okay, same thing we can do for suppose if there is a long variable, we want to convert long variable into byte, short, int, float, double. What to do? Long L is equal to, you take some long value. You write long, some LO is equal to new, some object reference is equal to new long of. In the long class constructor, you store primitive long value and then call long object dot byte value, short value, int value, float value, double value. So long value will be converted byte, short, int, float, and double. Same for float, same for double also. So here we are printing all the values. The values will be displayed as a simple int. Then. So the previous slide shows how integer wrapper class, predefined wrapper class is there in Java API. This is the example showing how to convert from one primitive to another primitive using that integer wrapper class. The next example is string to int conversion, the same one I told. So when you are running this Java program, you pass how many command line arguments? Name you pass as one command line argument, racks of 0. Int you pass as second command line argument, racks of 1. You pass your qualification as third command line argument, racks of 2. And the mobile number you pass as a fourth command line argument, racks of 3. Fifth command line argument you pass email ID as a racks of 4. Sixth command line argument, address you pass as a last command line argument. So how to pass these command line arguments when you're running this program, Java string to int conversion, the class name. What we need to pass as first argument? First of all, we need to pass our name as argument, first argument, A, B, C. So that comes to racks of 0. Name. That we are printing here. Name. System.out.println name. We are printing here with RAM. What next? Into program, the program is expecting to enter age as a second command line argument. Suppose I enter my age as 20 years. So age is a second command line argument. This is 0th command line argument. This is command line argument index number 1. But we generally call it as first command line argument, second command line argument, or 0th command line argument, first command line argument. Age is coming as a string because all command line arguments will first come into main method into this string array. Okay? That means all command line arguments we are passing through command prompt are all treated as string values. That is why main method is taking string array as an argument. So here age is coming as a string value into the string array. So from that we are taking racks of 1. It's an int that we know. So how to convert this string to int into int age using integer wrapper class, integer dot % of racks of 1. So the 20 will be converted into primitive int. Next one, qualification. My qualification is BTech. Let us assume my qualification is BTech. Racks of 2 assigned to qual. Racks of 2 assigned to qual. Qualification. And the next, mobile number. I'll enter my mobile number, some 984801234 5. It's a long value. But it is also coming as a string here into command line argument. How to convert this string, the mobile number value, into primitive mobile number long? Long dot, long is a wrapper class, same as integer. Long dot, parse the, long dot, parse, I'm sorry, this is long dot, parse long of. And this is spell mistake. Long dot, parse long of. If you give racks of 3, the value will be converted into mobile number. The next command line argument is email and address. So we'll enter abc@gmail.com and gmail.com. And the last command line argument is address, Hyderabad. So how many command line arguments? 0th command line argument 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here age we converted using integer data parse int, and mobile number we converted using long data parse long. So finally we are printing all the values here. So this is using how? Using integer and long wrapper classes, we are converting string value into primitives. This is primitive to primitive conversion. This is how integer wrapper class looks like. These are the list of wrapper classes. This is primitive to primitive conversion using typecasting. And these are the default values. So in this topic, we discussed only primitive data types, integer data types, and floating point data types, but not char, boolean, and array and class secondary data types, because this topic is restricted and confined only to primitive data types and their type conventions, but not other data types. So in this topic, what we have learned as a student, we learned what are the data types available, their sizes we learned, the ranges also we learned, the default values we learned, typecastings we learned, wrapper class also we learned. That's all. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.